This is Aether's Aeon ZGR. Today is July 21st, 2025. I'm making this video because I'm just so appalled at certain white males. One of them, whose name I can't quite grasp right now, I think he's Brody Jenner's father, or he's his adoptive father. Whatever he is, his last name is Jenner, and he pretends to be a woman or something like that, or is transgender. He's my first complaint. He believes that, first of all, he doesn't believe that the Constitution is abolished. Okay, I believe that it is. Okay, and it's because of something codified in the federal government at this present moment. Second of all, I'm appalled at his idea that he should use the Constitution to assail me with AIDS disease because Brody Jenner, in his derangement, is always discussing me. Now, I don't even know Brody Jenner. We don't really know each other. We don't. He's a complete stranger. But in Brody Jenner's adoptive father's mind, because he thinks that the Constitution isn't abolished, and because he thinks that I have a Black American slave origin, in his mind, he thinks that he can murder me with AIDS disease. So that means that arcane laws are needed. That's interesting, isn't it? But like I said, I don't even really know Brody Jenner at all. Brody Jenner just knows how to kidnap niggers and beat them to death, especially when their name is already used. Outside of that, I don't know anything about Brody. I really don't. I don't know him. He's a complete stranger. Now, I know that Brody Jenner stole $1 billion from me and cashed it and spent it and never went to prison. I can prove that Brody did that as well. And that's interesting, isn't it? That's interesting that Brody got away with that. And is still a complete stranger who has family with the last name Jenner that believes I should contract AIDS disease and die because I might have a Black American origin. I probably do to them. Also, I don't have a Black American origin. That's interesting, isn't it? I don't, actually. So, assuming that I do, because you have a deranged white family member that is crazy enough to try to steal a $45 million home and assume that he can destroy it and run off with its home equity with Caroline Levitt, doesn't mean that I descend from slaves, and doesn't mean that I should absorb AIDS because you're in anger about how crazy and poor and filthy racist and idiotic that Brody Jenner really is. And that's your problem. And you're also a complete stranger. Caroline Levitt is a complete stranger, and so is Brody Jenner. Furthermore, there's another deranged white male that thinks he can shove himself in my life and be the result in my life circumstances and in my life outcome. And this deranged white male's name is Bill Clinton, who in his desperation is speaking to another white male who is less than in a major freaking way, who is a pimp for children that want to pretend to be white. Okay, like Emma Windsor, the Black Dravidian. He's pimped her and pedophilized her whole life. Okay, after helping to kidnap Prince William, especially with Bill Naylor's potential gene implanted origin. He believes that he should be in cahoots with Bill Clinton and try to really kidnap me and try to assail me with euthanasia assails because Bill Clinton is telling Bill Naylor the following. Aether's Aeon is E.J. Ara, who is Kimberly Rochelle Keith, is a prostitute. Okay, said Bill Naylor on behalf of Bill Clinton. I will assail Aethers Aeon Azijir Ara, who is Kimberly Rochelle Keith, for Bill Clinton and Chelsea Clinton, because I believe that she is a prostitute, and according to Chelsea Clinton, always contacts Bill Clinton for money 9 times a year. I just don't know where to begin. In disgust and in my innate fury that Chelsea Clinton, who is clearly a grimy retard, who always has people walking on eggshells for her and lying for her in this civilization and in our society. Now, I clearly am not a prostitute based on the fact that I've written over 100,000 statements within the past 6 years. Furthermore, I have my own innate royal wealth. I don't know why Bill Clinton and his family believe that I am a slave to them. That's something also deranged that Kimberly Kardashian tells people. They think Bill Clinton and Kimberly Kardashian and Bill Naylor think they can be euthanizers, but at the same time believe that I am their sex slave. Now, let's just play devil's advocate. The devil, who is Angel Satan, who is receiving money from my accounts with me directly involved based on my situation in the United States. Uh, you know, let's just play devil's advocate and say that I was a prostitute. Let's just say that I was. Why would I be a prostitute and a sex slave and have lived in Japan for a minimum of 3 years, speaking completely fluent Japanese language? How would that really qualify me for prostitution underneath deranged white people that realize their bank accounts are drying up and figure, I'll just say she's a prostitute. I'll do a youth on order. I'll just lie. Why would that be? The two don't go together. I must not be a prostitute. How could you do both and really live? Now, I also lived in Egypt as a royal publicly. How am I going to live in Egypt for that long and be a prostitute here and be Bill Clinton's sex slave and be Kimberly Kardashian's sex slave and a sex idiot slave for Chelsea Clinton? So Bill Clinton and Chelsea Clinton, after telling people that I'm their sex slave, believe that they can assail me. Kimberly Kardashian is the same thing. She tells people that I am her sex slave after sex trafficking me in this apartment. It doesn't mean that I'm in on it. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not a sex slave. Speaking fluent Japanese and French and Arabic early on in my childhood. I'm not a sex slave owning a $20 million home early on in my toddler years. I'm definitely not a sex slave being an astronaut and a Harvard medical doctor and a business investor in computer technology. How could I be a sex slave too? Please fully prosecute Bill Clinton, Bill Naylor, Kimberly Kardashian, and Chelsea Clinton. I don't know why you think that you can rely on my financial accounts and just lie, including Bill Clinton, who ran for president and actually operated in the United States Senate and in the United States of America presidency with my financial accounts after kidnapping me at 3 years of age and giving me Lou Gehrig's disease in an experiment on purpose because I declined to give him my financial accounts. He was just a thug and a complete stranger. And he ran the presidency on my childhood financial accounts. And I can prove it. I'm not a prostitute. And I never have been.